Playoffs. The Bitter Birds are talking about playoffs. Playoffs? Oh, fuck yeah, we're talking about playoffs. Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Playoff predictions. We've been going division by division, revealing our predictions and previews for each team throughout every division in the NFL. Now we're down to the final show. So, Kyle, how's it going, man?
Good. It's going real good. We're already fast forward to the playoffs and the season hasn't begun. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this should be a lot of fun. So we're going to unveil like our MVPs, our defensive rookie of the years, offensive rookie of the years, defensive player of the year. So it should be a lot of fun. And we're going to start with our playoff predictions. So we'll go with who we have finishing number 1 and 2 in the AFC. And as for me, I've got New England as the 1 seed going 14-2. And the 2 seed is a little bit more up for grabs, but this might surprise some people. I've got Kansas City at 11-5, being the 2nd seed in the AFC. The way my schedule worked out, I had KC and Pittsburgh both finishing 11-5, but I had the Chiefs beating the Steelers during the regular season. So Kansas City is the 2 seed in the AFC.
I like it. I have the Patriots at number 1, of course, and then I got Steelers at number 2. And I got the Patriots at 13-3, and then Pittsburgh at 12-4. Tied with the Bengals, but they beat them.
Yeah. I guess the regular season tiebreaker there for you. So, I mean, Kansas City is a team that people sleep on. They got a really good defense. They play boring, methodical kind of offense. But the front 7 is deadly. Cornerback, you got Marcus Peters there. You got Eric Berry as your safety. So it's a really formidable defense. And I like them this year. So, and the AFC is kind of wide open. Not really a great conference. So, I'm curious who gets that number 2 seed out there. So moving on to the wild card, my wild card rounds. So I've got Jacksonville winning the AFC South at 9-7, Cincinnati going 10-6. And for the first time during the Marvin Lewis era, I've got the Bengals winning a playoff game. So Cincinnati is going to move on to the divisional round. And as for the other side of the bracket, the 3 seed, I got Pittsburgh playing Oakland. You know, reviving that rivalry there from the 70s. But back then, they used to play defense. This year, it's going to be about offense with those 2 teams. And I've got Pittsburgh prevailing at home at Heinz Field over the Raiders. So those are my picks.
For me, I've got the Bengals facing the Texans. It's a little change up right there. And I've got the Bengals beating them. And then I have Oakland playing their big division rival, the Chiefs. So that's been a huge rivalry for the years to come. But I've got the Chiefs beating them out, even though they're going to be a fun team to watch this year. They're more exciting, but had you had said the Chiefs are more methodical, well, the Oakland's very explosive.
Yeah. That's going to be fun watching those teams battle throughout the year because I have Kansas City going 11-5, Oakland going 10-6. So it's like it's only 1 game difference between those teams. So we shall see how that kind of prevails. So as for the divisional round, I got New England at home playing Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati will give New England much of a game. So I got the Patriots winning there. And Kansas City and Pittsburgh. That's going to be a lot of fun because you got the contrast in styles. Pittsburgh, great offense going up against a great defense. But since they're playing in Arrowhead, I've got the Chiefs winning that game. That should be a lot of fun if that actually happens.
Oh, man, that would be awesome. And it's awesome when anybody likes to play, I think, Tom Brady. I've got the rematch of last year with the Patriots and the Chiefs. Got the Patriots prevailing over them because they're just far superior. Tommy the Great, you just can't stop him. He's too good. Even though he's 40 years old, the man is unstoppable.
Yeah. And what's your what's the other divisional?
The Steelers and the Bengals. I got Steelers beating them and facing the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
Yep. And as you explained, I don't see the Chiefs beating the Patriots, especially in Foxborough. So I feel like New England's going to coast through the AFC and kind of easily get to the Super Bowl now with Denver kind of being out of the picture, Peyton Manning out of the league now. So New England is the team to beat in the AFC.
Yes, they always are. Tommy's going to make it to yet another Super Bowl. Can he get that magic number 5?
I think he will.
I think he's going to get there. If he's going to win it, that's still tough to say, but he's definitely going to coast right through the AFC, as you touched on.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the NFC side of things. I've got the Arizona Cardinals getting the 1 seed at 13-3. I think the Chandler Jones acquisition kind of puts this team a little bit over the top defensively. I think that helps them out. And as for the 2 seed, I had Minnesota. I flip-flopped after the injury to Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm going Green Bay now as the 2 seed. And those 2 teams play each other in week 2. Minnesota gets them at home. And I don't think that Sam Bradford is ready yet in week 2 to play Green Bay because he's not really going to be grasping that entire playbook yet. So I think for Bradford, it might take him, as the season goes along for him to kind of get acclimated to everything. So Green Bay is my 2 seed in the NFC. 12-4 for them.
I've got them going 12-4 as also, but they're my number 2 seed. My number 1 is the Cardinals. That acquisition you had touched on, they haven't had a pure pass rusher. This adds another element to that defense. They've got a very explosive offense. They're my number 1 at 13-3, so those 2 are going to get the buys.
Yeah. I have Arizona as a 1 seed, by the way. I don't know if I said that. So
yeah, you did.
Okay. All right. So Arizona 1, Green Bay 2. So both of them are the same then for us. I got Dallas winning the NFC least at 8-8. Seattle going 12-4. Dallas always plays Seattle tough over the last couple of years, but I got Seattle winning that game. And Carolina and Minnesota is the other side of the ledger there. I got both teams going 11-5, so that's a really good, sexy wild card matchup. But Carolina being at home, Sam Bradford it's going to be his first playoff game, but he kind of comes up small in big situations. So I will take Carolina over Minnesota in that game.
I like it. I got the boys facing the Vikings over here on the NFC East, and I've got the Vikings prevailing. They're just a far superior team with that defense that's going to eat up the young kid. And then I got this is going to be a fun matchup, Panthers and the Seahawks again. Yeah. And I have the Seahawks actually beating them this year as opposed to the Panthers doing that. So they come up big as the 6th seed.
Yeah, I would definitely take Seattle over Carolina. I would definitely do that. So as the divisional playoffs stand for me, Arizona and Seattle in my de facto basically NFC Championship game. That should be a lot of fun. Arizona gets them at home though, so I will take the Cardinals. And Green Bay, Carolina, Lambeau Field in January playoff game. I don't think Carolina's going to beat them. So I'm going to have Arizona and Green Bay in my championship game.
Oh, that would be exciting. Like a couple years ago when they both went off for 40-some points, back and forth, high-octane offenses. I've got the Cardinals facing the Hawks, another divisional rivalry. They're meeting up, so they're going to be playing each other 3 times here. I got the Cardinals surpassing the Hawks, though, just because I think they're just a touch better. They're a more complete team. And then this is kind of weird how this worked out, the Packers and the Vikings facing each other.
Oh, wow. How about that? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because how I originally had my playoffs, I originally had Arizona playing Seattle in the championship game because I had Green Bay as the 6th seed. So, that flip-flops. Green Bay and Minnesota, how I was saying, that week 2 game. Mm-hmm. So I had, because of that, Minnesota falls to the 6th because Seattle I've going 12-4. So the NFC is, really stacked up top, those top 6 teams. And I had Green Bay beating Carolina. And then I had so it would have been Green Bay playing Arizona and Seattle playing Minnesota. And I would have had Seattle beating Minnesota in the divisional round. But plans have changed. Predictions have changed because of circumstances. And Arizona Green Bay is now my NFC Championship game. And I've got the Cardinals going to the Super Bowl to play New England. And, I don't think New England's going to lose. So, unfortunately, Tom Brady is going to have a 5th ring.
For mine, I've got the Vikings surpassing the Packers in the NFC or in the divisional game, and then I've got the Cardinals beating the Vikings in the championship game. So I also have Patriots versus the Cardinals, but I have the Cardinals beating Tommy Terrific and getting their Super Bowl finally for Fitzy and that whole town out there in Arizona.
That'd be really sweet if that happened, and it's crazy that we both have the Cardinals winning it all.
they're too good to pass up. They're so dominant. That acquisition of Jones, another year under Bruce Arians, you got all those weapons, another year of David Johnson in that line. How can you not? How do you pick against them?
Yeah. They look like they were the best team in the league last year. At least, like, when you watch film and watch the games, Arizona looked like a better team than Carolina. And then Arizona in the playoffs, they kind of – Carson Palmer wasn't playing like he did during the regular season. So, and then obviously Carolina beat him there in the NFC Championship game. So, yeah, so we've got the same Super Bowl, just different outcomes. Now, let's get to MVP of the league. I guess I'll go first. Maybe this will be a surprise. I don't really know. I've got Antonio Brown taking the MVP because I think he's going to go over 2,000 yards, and I think he's going to set the all-time receptions record because Pittsburgh doesn't really have a lot of weapons. Sure, you have Ladarius Green, but there's no Martavis Bryant. I don't really like the receivers other than Antonio Brown. So I've got Brown beating all the records, getting all the records, and then taking home the hardware at the end of the year.
I hope he does get it because I like when other people other than quarterbacks get the MVP. I thought Cam Newton was deserving of it last year. I've got Tom getting it this year. I mean, the dude is just a stud. I think after the Deflategate, after him being suspended for the 4 games, is going to have them all fired up. We don't know what the record's going to be those first 4 games, but he's not going to lose after that point. He's going to take them all the way to the Super Bowl. So I think he's going to get the MVP this year. Even though I hate to say it, I think he's going to take it home.
That's interesting. So, like, he's going to play so good in those 12 games that you think he can win it.
It would literally propel the team to going all the way to the Super Bowl because I think he's going to play that well.
Okay. All right, Defensive Player of the Year. You know, I tried to pick somebody other than J.J. Watt. I just couldn't do it. So J.J. Watt wins it again.
I got the same thing. Who else can you pick out there? The man is just deserving of it. He's a defensive monster. I would wish that he would win MVP, but defensive guys just don't get it.
Yeah. All right, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't see anybody else that can take it away from Ezekiel Elliott because of the situation in Dallas. They're going to run the ball a lot. They got the best offensive line in the league. You got a rookie quarterback playing for basically the first half of the season. So Zeke is going to win it for me. The only other guy that I can see maybe winning it is actually Carson Wentz.
A little homer there. I like it.
Except I don't have the Eagles going far enough for him to win it.
It doesn't matter. Well, you know that goes hand in hand with it because they go off of success with winning these titles. I've got Zeke too. The stars are just aligned for him to win it. He's an explosive, dynamic back. He's got the best offensive line. What helps a young quarterback in Dak Prescott by feeding the beast, feeding a running back of that stature. So, hands down, he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Defensive Rookie of the Year. You know, this is kind of difficult because my favorite player in the draft is Jalen Ramsey. Except it's tough for cornerbacks to win these type of awards, especially for a rookie. There's a tough transition that goes on from the college to the pro game. So I went a little bit off the wall for this one. Well, maybe it's not off the wall, but he's not technically a rookie, but he is a rookie. So I went Dante Fowler of Jacksonville. So obviously he missed the year last year, and he's going to play that Leo position for Gus Bradley's defense. And I like him a lot. So I was struggling picking anybody else. So I went Dante Fowler of Jacksonville.
Thank you for giving my 2 boys credit. I really appreciate it. I wish I could have been a homer as well. I love Jalen Ramsey, but cornerbacks just don't win. Let's be real. Dante Fowler is a beast. I hope he does win it, but I got Leonard Floyd winning it, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to be a very explosive pass rusher. We had touched on it. He's one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher in this year's draft, and they're just going to unleash him over there in Chicago.
Yeah, I like him a lot. So I was a big Leonard Floyd fan heading into the draft. So we shall see about that. But Fowler is going to be my pick. So that should be interesting to see. Do we want to do Coach of the Year too, or no? I mean, that's kind of difficult. Let's see. I don't really have like surprise teams per se. So maybe it would go to Andy Reid. if I have Kansas City going to the AFC Championship game, I don't know. Maybe Andy Reid.
I've got Mike Zimmer for taking the team. Losing a quarterback and taking the team all the way to the NFC Championship, I'll go with Zimmer.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. I probably should have went Mike Zimmer, but I'm not going to change it.
Good pick, Andy Reid, with the team that they have going to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. All right, so this is a year where I normally do these predictions, and I normally have like surprise teams, and I really don't this year, unless you guys think Jacksonville and Oakland are surprise teams, but they're so popular in like everybody's surprise picks that I don't even consider them surprises anymore.
They've been slowly building over the past couple of years. We've seen a tip of what they could be. You can see the young players coming into their own, so they're not really a surprise team. It would be a surprise if we saw, like, say, the Titans or the Ravens or even Cleveland Browns do something with Hugh Jackson there. If Hugh Jackson wins 5 games, the man deserves Coach of the Year right there.
Yeah, seriously. My only real surprise might be like Kansas City going to the AFC Championship game. That's really it. And even like Minnesota, like everybody likes Minnesota. So I had them as a 2 seed originally, but how much of a surprise was that? They won the NFC North last year. Like people forget that already.
Because it's been owned by the Packers for so long, and they're finally competitive again. I love the Rams, but they're not good enough to be a surprise team.
Yeah. Even though I don't know how I feel about Jared Goff, but like other than Jared Goff, I like that team a little bit. They're stuck in the NFC West. Being in that division right now is you got to play Arizona, Seattle 4 times. Good luck.
It's brutal. Oh, here's a guy that could give maybe J.J. Watt a run for his money. Aaron Donald for Defensive Player of the Year.
A good one. I like that. I like it. Now that's got me thinking. Khalil Mack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
These two guys could give the old man a run for his money, even though he's in the prime of his career.
Yeah. You know what? No, I'm not going to change it. I'll keep it at J.J. Watt.
I'm still sticking to it, too. But these 2 young kids are right on his coattails.
Yeah, if there are 2 guys, it's them 2. Definitely. And maybe a sleeper candidate, because I like Ziggy Ansah's game a lot. Yeah, I like him, too. So what about maybe some other MVP candidates besides Antonio Brown and Tom Brady? That's tough because I don't like maybe Aaron Rodgers because I got Green Bay going far. Russell Wilson, maybe.
Russell Wilson could be a pick.
I don't see Cam Newton doing it again.
No, it's either quarterbacks or very rarely do wideout. It's always quarterbacks that get all the love for it, and it kind of sucks that happens because I would love to see a wideout or even a running back win MVP.
Yeah, if there's a running back possibility, St. Louis and Los Angeles does well, Todd Gurley.
Yeah, definitely. It's so hard. It's so hard to get that transition because I always want to say St. Louis too. I
just did it. I've been getting it right all off season. I fucked up there. So that's about it, man. I got no other MVP candidates. I was trying to think of one. I was like, oh well, Antonio Brown. There you go. So
if the Colts, well, see, that's another quarterback, Andrew Luck. If the Colts have success, and yeah, he'd be like a comeback player of the year since he was so bad last year. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a quarterback, but I could see Russell Wilson being it, or maybe a Carson Palmer if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't think like Palmer's. I mean, maybe like he had a good year last year, but I don't see him like being elite of the elite to be good enough to win an MVP.
You don't think if he wins the Super Bowl, if they bring a Super Bowl to Arizona?
I mean, possibly.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a stretch. There you go. Yeah, like it's possible, but like, is it really going to happen? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. All right. You got any final thoughts? I mean, this has been a lot of fun getting all these divisions, going through all these teams, and we got to the nitty-gritty today. And it's funny because our predictions aren't even that far off from each other.
They're very close, and I love doing this, just not focusing on one team, even though we're Philadelphia-based. I love going all around the league and doing all the other players because there's so much more talent out there, and we get to talk about all these other players because me and you are football junkies. As you know, we watch the draft. We follow football 24/7. It's just not, fall to January for us.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun. And, just this entire offseason. It's a culmination into what we've been doing the last couple weeks with this, and got our playoff predictions out. And Thursday, it's starting. The regular season is right around the corner. It's awesome. For Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fedke. And stay tuned because, I mean, shit, thebitterbirds.com is launching. And we'll probably do a separate video on that at some point. At least I'll do a solo one. But thebitterbirds.com is coming. And let us know in the comment section below. Who do you guys have winning the Super Bowl? Who's going to win the MVP award? All the awards. Who's your sleeper team this year? Let us know in the comment section. We are out. Later.
Later, guys.